And welcome in to the State Champ Studio along with my broadcast partner, Mike Iveso. My name is Sean Baligian. It is another edition of Hockey Time, and we got to give a shout out to our sponsor, Alta. So many things Alta helps us with. Thank you so much to Alta Equipment Company for being a big part of what we do here with State Champs and the great sport of hockey. I'm biased. I think it's the greatest sport on earth. We had a fantastic game for our Game Time Live broadcast on Saturday night. It was the Catholic League final out in Fraser. What a show Toledo St. Francis and Detroit Catholic Central put on, Mike.
I think you said it exactly. A fantastic game. It was back and forth. St. Francis gave CC all they could handle with Cole Pravaznik up front, 2 goals. What a player there. And a big defenseman, Cal Buchalski, had a goal, but he cleared that net out for the man we called Q, Quinn Shonsky, who made some nice saves. Now, it wasn't CC's A game, Sean. We know that. But I really like Lucas Smash. That kid was going to the net, scoring goals. But keep an eye on a guy that both me and Sean liked, Costa Karadimas, Sean. Used his big body and made his presence felt around that puck all night.
It was the type of game, folks, like, honestly, you'll love to see at this level. Fantastic pace. 2 high-caliber teams. Obviously, Catholic Central got the job done. Nothing to hang your head about if you're Toledo St. Francis. Coach Varga has himself a monster down there in the state of Ohio.
And he knows it. That guy's always smiling. We did a coach's interview before. Sean, safe to say the #1 coach's interview we've ever done. What a great human being. And we can't leave without mentioning the Wall Award nominee, Nicholas Kogut. What a game he had. 4 or 5 game-saving stops.
More on our Wall Award and Player of the Year coming up later on in the show, as always. But, Mike, one of the things we love to do on this show, there's so much great hockey being played all around the state. You could say we're going to take a little tour around the state and put a circle around a few teams each and every week. When something catches our eye or when you win a bunch of games in a row, you know what? You deserve to be talked about. One of those teams, an old buddy of ours, Coach Marchand, doing really good job with the Cougars at Grand Rapids Catholic Central. 5 straight win for the Cougs.
Yeah, 6-1, a great start with some big wins against that sneaky Huron Valley team that we like, Lumen Christi team I'm always following, and the Bay Reps who are always tough. Goalie Jacob Aaron, 5-1, 1.62 goals against, and a .901 save percentage. A lot of good things out in Grand Rapids.
That's wall material as well. Like I said, we're probably going to have some changes sooner rather than later, and there are a few guys that we're keeping an eye on. We always keep an eye on what's going on up in Houghton. The Gremlins certainly are always in the mix. Mike, this year, certainly no different than others.
Every time we bring up the UP, we talk about the gauntlet that these teams play. Houghton's 4-3-1, doesn't jump out at you, but they're 2-2, which is not shabby against Marquette twice, EGR, and Granville. They got a couple guys up there in Connor Arco and Noah Millette with 13 points each, Sean, and every night a highlight reel goal.
I really like what Hudsonville is doing. I think they're building some energy. They're building some noise about their program. Their social media game is outstanding, and it's always nice to talk about some hockey as well as these teams are trying to make a name for themselves, Mike.
Yeah, a nice 3-1 start. The problem with the 3-1 start, now you're not sneaking up on anybody, right? They've got a big game on Friday against Lakes area. Take a look at Lucas Brandow. He's got 16 points in 7 games, Sean.
St. Clair Shores United doing a fantastic job. I know their coach just a wee bit. I've known him his whole life, but shout out to those guys for getting it done.
One of the last standing undefeated teams at 8-0. This is a team we got out and watched last year, so we know they can score some goals. 7 goals a game right now, with 7 players averaging at least a point a game. Keep an eye on this team.
You know, let's head downriver as well. I mean, look, the Trenton Trojans are one of the premier programs in the state. There's no doubt about it. In recent years, I've kind of joked with their coaches, you guys like to fly under the radar a little bit at the beginning of the year. Mike, it's hard to do that right now. They are off to a tremendous start.
There's no hiding under the radar right now. They're solidifying their spot as one of the top teams in the state. Absolutely dismantling teams by an average of 5 goals. We know Donovan Durbin. We know Theo Dull. Keep an eye on Brett Allen and Grandin Eccles, 2 kids that are making themselves stars.
Like to go around the state as well. Listen, huge showcase coming up, something that we've covered from start to finish ever since it burst upon the high school hockey season. More on that in just a little bit, but some games of note. Mike Powers, oh, by the way, did we mention the defending Division II champion? Coach Perry's got another juggernaut taking on a Dow team that we saw a little bit of a couple weeks back.
Yep, Power 6-1, and they're being guided by Player of the Year nominee Aiden Cook and the Wall nominee Hunter Clark. But this Dow team, Sean, we were up in Marquette for football, but we got to sit down with Doug Garrow and watch a little bit of hockey. This Dow team gave Marquette everything they could handle with a 2-2 tie, and they've given up 0 goals in their last 2 games while scoring 17.
EGR in Northville, I have a feeling I might matriculate my way there on Friday night. EGR, I mean, what more needs to be said? I think you look at what they've done the last few years. Certainly they've become one of the usual suspects, and we like this Northville team. I think this is Coach Ossenmacher's best group yet. What a big test for both teams Friday night.
Absolutely. EGR with Ryder, Owens, and a stingy D only giving up a goal a game is going to give Northville everything they have. They're going to test all that depth that we saw during that Novi game. We know Tommy Mironoff. Keep an eye on Ethan Ogelski. That's a kid that's caught our eye and we really like.
I really like this matchup because another team that's off to a good start, we always like to recognize that. How about the Falcons from Divine Child? Really off to a good start. And again, Jeffers are not going to sneak up on anybody. I think you know how good they are again this year. But what a fun matchup that'll be Friday.
Great start by Divine Child, 5-1, being led in net by Charlie Nevis and his .948 save percentage. Keep it up. We're keeping an eye on you, buddy. Jeffers, they're not sneaking up on anybody. They're becoming a usual suspect at 7-1. And Cameron Anderson and Kaysen Hellman and Sean knocking on the door of our list.
No doubt about that. How about Saturday? We talked about Utica Eisenhower before the season started. A heck of a lot of talent there. And a team that really picked up from where they left off last year. And Mike has consistently gone like this. Rochester United is off to a fantastic start. What a test that'll be for both of them on Saturday.
From the moment we started talking about high school hockey this year, we heard about Utica. Utica. They're having a nice start to the season. Keep an eye on Joey Zelnak. He's one to watch. But Rochester, Sean, every coach that plays this team says, watch out for this team coming out of the East, and Nolan Heiser, 23 points already this season.
Yeah, outstanding start, no doubt about it. Hey, something we've been a part of since it started, and full disclosure, I was part of the very first conversations about what initially was the KLAA MIHL Showcase. It has since been renamed the Adam Mitchell Showcase after a guy that meant so much to the hockey community, not just in Livonia, but all over the state, a guy that you and I both knew and were able to call a friend, of course, the late Adam Mitchell. But Mike, I got sick and tired. This is a true story. You know this. I got sick and tired of listening to a couple coaches argue every day about the KLA's better. No, the MIHL's better. The KLA's better. So I said, you know, sometimes simple ideas come from simpletons. I said, hey guys, why don't you do like a Big Ten ACC challenge where you pick a Saturday, you get everybody in a centralized rink, and you play these games? And they both went, that's a really good idea. And you know what? Thus, this thing was born. Mike, it's been rolling for years. Another exciting slate this week. More on how we're going to cover it in just a moment. But let's talk about some of these matchups. Again, Eddie Edgar Ice Arena out in Livonia. 11 a.m. is the first game. 7 o'clock is the last game. A bunch of dandies on that slate.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the top-end matchups in here from Rice Heartland, Trenton Stevenson, OLSM, Howell, then the nightcap always, Brighton CC. I could see a split in there, but it's just intriguing to see Heartland. We know who they are right now. They're one of the best teams in the state. Rice is young. This is going to be a great test for that youth. Trenton Stevenson. Trenton's really going to come out here on this one, right? Like we said, they're not hiding anymore. Stevenson in their home barn. What can they do with their new coach to put on a show? OLSM, a team we've covered, a team that we like with all that talent. Oh, wait, here's Howell, a team just equally as talented. And then CC Brighton, we know CC, there's going to be a bounce back after their performance, even though it was a win Saturday night. And then Coach Cavisto, we know the depth they have. This is that game where that depth is going to matter the most.
And you know what, Mike, if I had to circle one and you mention it, I am really, really intrigued at Orchard Lake and Howell. I mean, there are so many good matchups throughout the day, but you have to put a circle around that one. That is one of the best in D1. In my mind right now, the prohibitive favorite in D3 as the defending champion as well. What a matchup that should be at 6 o'clock at Edgar.
Well, I know I'm going to be in Scottsdale, Sean, so I'm going to be by the pool, and I'm going to be watching this game, and I can't wait. It is just going to be it's going to be a showstopper, I think.
Well, I know what you're going to be doing in Scottsdale. I know for a fact what you're going to be doing. You are going to be tuned in to a special edition of Score. And Mike, I want you, while you're laying out in the pool with that fruity drink in your hand, I want you to take a picture of yourself watching this special edition of Score. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to have cameras out at Eddie Edgar earlier in the day and throughout the day. I'm going to be out there earlier in the day talking to some people and everything. Not only are we going to keep an eye on some of the late action, but we're going to talk about some of the earlier action as well. Yeah, you know how we roll on the Score. We'll take a look at some other games going around the state. But Mike, special guests joining us throughout the show. I am not going to reveal any special guests, but I can tell you I received confirmation that 4 different coaches that are a part of this fantastic Adam Mitchell showcase are going to be calling in during the course of the show to not only talk about what transpired in their game, but talk about high school hockey and what's going on with their particular team. So we're really looking forward to this. Make sure you check it out all across the State Champs Network and Local 4 Plus. We have our special edition of Score Saturday night, 6 o'clock, and we'll try to recap everything that happened out in Livonia.
I can't wait, because since I can't be there, which I'm sad, but you know how it goes, Sean. Happy wife, happy life. So I'm going to be out there in Scottsdale making her happy, but I'll be following, and I can't wait. Those minds, those hockey minds that I know you've got together for these calls, don't miss it, people. This is going to be must-see TV.
I can't say this enough. I know I say it all the time, and Chuck, you're going to have to just let me say it one more time. Every time we reach out to coaches in this state, the answer is yes. It is unbelievable. I can't thank you coaches enough for always making yourself available, for always answering the text and, hey, can we have a conversation with you? Mike, seriously, the first 4 coaches I asked, within minutes, yes, 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 and yes. So that's really cool. A shout out to all you guys out there who always make yourself so available. So one more time, 6 o'clock on Saturday, a special edition of Score. We're going to go to, don't tell anybody, we're going to go to whenever we want to go, okay? There's so much hockey to talk about, so we're going to go until whenever we want to go. Mike, coming up as well, I'm going to be very busy the next day. It is an arduous thing to do, but it's a good kind of arduous thing to do. We are going to do our first rankings of the year. We're going to let some of these showcases play out, maybe let things jockey themselves up. And next week, we'll have our first rankings of the year.
I know, me and you sat down and we were talking about the landscape of everything, and I think there's going to be some interesting choices towards the bottom there, 17 to 20 and stuff that people might say, hey, but Sean, right now, you look at outside that top 5, anybody can beat anybody any given night. This has been a fantastic start to the season. I can't wait to get our hands on that top 20.
Boy, I couldn't agree with you more. Honestly, the tippy top, I think there's some teams right now in early December that have kind of established themselves maybe a little bit above. And then you have a giant group of teams. And this is where I always say, don't read too much into the record. We see that at playoff time. Don't read too much into the record. There are a lot of high caliber teams being played all over the great state of Michigan.
Yep, from the UP to the east to the west, central, mid. Sean, it is going to encompass the entire state. And again, like I said, I can't wait to see it.
Hey, listen, we revealed our inaugural list this year for Player of the Year and Wall. Chuck, if I may, there they are. Look at them right now, okay? No, really, look at them right now. Study them right now. because I have a feeling there are going to be some changes next week. There are already some guys that just in the time that we've done this have kind of elevated their game. I know, without mentioning names, a couple different goaltenders, a couple different players as well, a particular forward and defenseman in particular. So we're going to reconvene next week. Some of the guys on our committee talk about this. Let some of that dust settle from some of these big games this week, and I have a feeling we're going to be seeing changes next week. One more time, we do this each and every show. Here is the criteria. This is what we live by. This has worked very well for us. It is our creed, if you will. And by the time the season ends, the coaches get together and we either do it in person or we do it via text and we talk about the criteria. The one thing that you have to remember, and this is where you can get involved, go to our website and vote for your guy. So if you vote for Mike Ivesil, guess what? He's automatically in the Final Four. There's nothing that any of us can do or say. The online winner automatically gets into the Final Four. So vote early, vote often. But Mike, before we get out of here, another fantastic week of hockey all over the great state of Michigan.
Absolutely. And again, I'm heading out of the state, but I will be following it closely. But this is just what high school hockey is and why we love it, Sean. I can't wait to get out to Big B Arena in Brighton tonight to watch BU and Southline. And that's what we do, guys. We look at that schedule. You want us out there, start getting hot, we'll come see you.
Safe travels to you, my friend. We look forward to seeing you again next week. And I think we have a surprise to announce next week as well. Another surprise. I have a sneaking suspicion that the crew's going to be out and about for a game right before Christmas. More on that next week. In the meantime, thanks so much for joining us here on Hockey Time, all over the State Champs Network, and we'll see you at the rink.
State Champs Hockey Time is presented by Alta Equipment Company, Lawrence Technological University, the MHSAA, the Michigan High School Hockey Coaches Association,